6 months before I ever started this site, Jesus told me that not everybody's going to like me and that just keep going anyway. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But I haven't been as consistent as I ought to be in recording, and I'm sorry for that. One of the things that we do, I think that is most important, one of the most important things you do in your lifetime is your self-talk. People who have great self-talks usually go further than people that don't. And if you accept what the devils tell you, the devil will tell you you're a piece of junk and look how many things you've done wrong and all stuff like that. So we have to watch who we're listening to and how we speak to ourselves. Like and subscribe. When we look at this day, we have another day today. And for me, it's another day of sobriety. I'm coming up on 37 years. And, it's been a trip. I mean, it's been a good life, but it's also been a lot of discovery. It's also been a lot of difficulty. We've had all kinds of things happen, been through death, and I've been through far more sober and clean than I ever did drinking. And, that self-talk, I'm pretty good at self-talk. I try to make sure that I'm on an upbeat on everything. And mainly, I think the only reason why that is because what I dwell on. You are what you eat. And if you're dwelling on negativity and you're watching the news all the time and looking at all the things that are going on in this world all the time, you'll likely to be depressed. But when you read the Bible or go through the Bible often, if you're into the Word of God or into any other word that uplifts you and empowers you and strengthens you, then your self-talk is going to be better. It is what you're dwelling on, and those things that you're dwelling on are so vitally important to our existence. One of the things I do a lot is I listen to the Bible. And I listen to the Bible, I listen to pastors, and I write things and do things like that, creative, which I love. And so all those things help me to live a better life. And my self-talk, how I talk to myself and what I shun and what I take in. You don't have to show up to every battle that you're invited to. And so, the thing with me is that I try and help a lot of people, and I sponsor a bunch of people in AA. And sometimes I see so many people that they're stuck in what the devil's telling them. There's devils that will tell you you're a piece of junk, you can't do anything right, how can you handle this burden, you can't handle this burden, oh no, this is too much for you, and all this stuff. And if you take in that stuff, they speak to you in your own voice. You think it's you talking, but it's not you. It is devils that are speaking to you. And so if they can get you to repeat the stuff that they say to you, then they're happy. They want you to be destroyed. They want to destroy anything that God has made. And so, especially if you have given your life to Jesus, that's even more ammo against you. But whether you have or not, they want to destroy you. You are made up of God. God has made you. And I believe that God gave part of himself when he made you and me. He gave part of himself when he made you and me, and that's why we can never die. We cannot ever die because that which is God cannot die. Okay, so you have your choice. You can either live with Christ the Lord in heaven or take your place elsewhere. And that's people who are anti-religion hate that. They hate that. They can't stand that. Oh, I don't know, it's just like they won't understand, or they will not even comprehend that they have sin at all. They will not acknowledge that they have sin. It's just, it's just my way of doing things, So anti-religious people are very difficult to talk to. People that that are always talking about how they're the Alpha and the Omega. That's what they believe, because they create a God that cannot do anything to them. So they create this God in their heart and in their mind that is just going to agree with everything that they do and everything that they want. And people have been doing this for centuries. It's not anything new. Hundreds of thousands of years. I mean, people hundreds and thousands of years. People have been doing that. It's like even in the very beginning with Adam and Eve, the devil, told Eve that she could be like the Most High God, and so over and over again we find this. And so when I talk to myself, how do I talk to myself? How do I treat myself? Do I do things that I like to do? Do I reward myself? Do I look to Jesus? It talks about in the Bible we're to pray about everything. Pray in 24 hours. Just pray all the time. And when we live that way, I remember one year when I was early in my sobriety, I believe God gave me this idea, but to give each moment to God. It took me 8 months to get it down. I kept forgetting to get every moment to God. I mean, I was very inconsistent at it. I would get up and it would be noon and I forgot to pray. I mean, I was having all kinds of problems doing this. It took me 8 months to get down giving every moment to God. But once I got it down, I was starting to do okay with it, and I'd reached another level that I'd never reached before, that I never even could see before. And then I started using that time to start praying for others. And I even went further than I even could see from there. So I started, praying for that lady at the grocery store, and praying for that person that I seen down the street, and that person in AA. And I started praying for all the people that I knew, and I started praying for others all the time. And I started using that time, instead of praying for myself all the time, always looking at my relationship with God. I started praying for others, and I even got further. I even got to a whole new level that I didn't know about. And it's life is like that. It's like I tried changing my behavior by concentrating on my behavior, and I failed over and over and over again. But God changed my behavior by changing my heart. And that's the way God does it. God changed not just my heart, He changed my desire for that thing. I didn't no longer desired for that. I desired for other things. You cannot subdue a habit except that you replace it with another habit. That's one of the philosophies that's in AA that works very well. You replace your drinking habit by going to meetings. And so, that's one of the things that works very well. And so when I'm trying to change my life, I look to God, I ask God, and I don't believe in praying on nothing or meditating on nothing. Some people talk about that and they try and go, or whatever, and they try and concentrate on nothing and closing their mind off and all that stuff. That doesn't really work for me very well. My mind's probably too busy for that. But I do meditate on the Word of God. I meditate on positive passages. I meditate on prayers. I meditate on things like that all the time. And that's what works the best for me. So my self-talk is very, very important. And who I am as a person, it will be shown by my self-talk. My self-talk will declare who I really am. Like and subscribe.